All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. This is YNY Mission, and I'm just going to do a quick lesson about how funerals will be a thing of the past going into the new world, okay? Starting, basically now. As you see, it's an uptick of people passing away and dying from all sorts of things, judgments going out, but it's going to get to the point where the funeral system or industry will collapse. We got a glimpse of that in India, the East Indians, and in China when the 19 took over. Okay, that was just a plague of the Lord, okay, basically, and we saw how that turned out. Okay, people weren't being buried; they were being left in ambulances. Okay, and some in East India, some dogs, stray animals were eating at the corpses. So I'm just gonna bring out a video and some scriptures real quick.
You know how much money a fucking funeral costs? That's the thing Joey Diaz hit me to. He goes, you know what a fucking scam is? These fucking mortuary homes and the funeral homes and all that shit. You have to do it. You have to do it even if someone wants to be cremated. You have to embalm them, so you have to pay for that. And then you have to pay for a coffin. And then they try to upsell you. Don't you want a Cadillac of a coffin for Grampy? Grampy always liked red velvet. He was the king. And it cost you $40,000 for the whole thing. You're like, what am I doing? There was some podcast where they were talking about what you're really getting when you get Grampy's ashes. It's like, you getting ash that's just sitting in the bottom of this furnace. It's not necessarily your grandpa. They don't clean it out perfectly.
Right.
No one's watching. Yeah. No one gives a shit. Also, you're not getting ashes. And not only that, sometimes they just throw other stuff in there, like cement. You'll get cement. You're like, they don't give a fuck. Yeah. It's symbolic. You know how much.
So as you hear, Esau's funeral system is a scam. Okay. And they made a good argument. Joe Rogan made a good argument. And there's so much death coming up that nobody won't have time to deal with that mess anymore. So, okay, this is where we put Jeremiah 25:33. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. That day, that's the day of judgment, okay, great and terrible day, all right. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, okay? So nobody won't mourn, nobody won't remember. It won't be a gathering coming up, okay? Nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground, okay? So these bodies will be laying in the ground. Like you see, nobody won't be lamented. Nobody won't be on the news. It's just going to get so bad to the point that it's going to be every man for himself, okay? Basically. All right, you won't see about it, you won't hear about it, especially when there's internet, there's powers cut, or chaos, or hell breaking loose. Okay, a lot of people will be put to death on the sword, and it just won't be no way to account for everybody. Okay, everybody will be every man for himself. Okay, in that day, and that day we are waiting on, and it's coming very soon. All right. 1 Corinthians 15:54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Okay, so who will be immortal? Okay, those are the first fruits of the Lord. Okay, 1/3, 144. Okay, and those who have died in this absolute truth, and knowing the names of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, they will be risen. Okay, those will be the first fruits of immortality. And look, it says death is swallowed up in victory. Yahweh Shah already beat death. Okay, passed his test. Now it's time for the men, okay, the Lord to go through their tribulation and tests, and have been going through their tribulation and tests. In order to pass on that exam day. Okay, death is swallowed up in victory. So going into the new world, heathen will still die, but the elect men and people that are brought back, they will not perish. Okay. All right. So with with that, I like to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.